Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. As you saw in the title of this video, we're looking at my favorite EDC knives, everyday carry knives. And the way I decided on these knives was I looked at all my knives and said, okay, what are the ones I go to the most often for everyday carry? So this is not like here's the best auto knife out there, here's the best assisted knife out there. These are the ones that I like, that I go to the most often, and I'm going to tell you the reason why for all the different knives we're going to look at. Okay, we're going to start off with this one. This is the Spyderco ATR2. This one is actually discontinued, and I want to start with this one because you can get this for like, I don't know, it's $189 over at Blade HQ right now, and it was like $325 originally. So it's likely they're going to come out with a version 3.0 of this. But if you want to get this one, you got to pull the trigger soon because it's not going to be around much longer. So why do I like this knife? It's very similar to me to my Benchmade grip Tilian. Let me grab that real quick. As far as like how it functions, the overall look, it's definitely a bigger knife than the grip Tilian, but yeah, it's got a very similar feature. Very much a like cool looking knife, but also super utilitarian. G10 handles. It's got that Spyderco hood up there, so it gives you a really nice lock in. Let me get the grip out of here. Really nice lock in on your thumb when you're actually using it. It's got this kind of cool point, you know, kind of the dip down there. It really comes to almost like a spear point here. Pocket clip, as you can see, is reversible, and it has the compression lock as well. So really great knife, utility knife, EDC knife. I just find myself, like when I get a hold of this, I'm like, yeah, this thing is ready to do some work. And I've used it a bit, and then I clean it up. I just try to keep it really pretty because I like to keep my EDC knives looking good. So this is the first one. Again, the ATR2 on sale over Blade HQ, just to let you know. Discontinued, but they should have, I'm guessing they're going to have a version 3 out as well. So this is probably the most recent one I've gotten as far as an everyday carry knife, and now we're going to look at a bunch of the other ones. Okay, so here are two small everyday carry knives that I often use. We have the Prequel up top, and then this is the Squid. This Squid is in D2. You can also get it in 8CR. I think it's 13 MOV. And the 8CR one's going to run you like 24 bucks or so, and the D2 one's going to run you more. The Prequel right now is going to run you around 60 bucks, and this has the field strip technology. So the reason I like these guys is just that they're super compact. I mean, the Squid has been super popular for a lot of different people. So frame lock, this is the stonewash version. Comes in a couple different versions, and there's lots of aftermarket parts for the Squid, as far as, well, handles, I should say, in particular, aftermarket handles for the Squid. So that's cool. Just a cool little knife, very, very easy to carry as an EDC knife. Fits nicely, even with a pair of like khakis on. Doesn't print, and just classy. Like when I take this out to use like around the office or something, nobody freaks out because it is just kind of a small, chunky knife. Now the Prequel is also a cool knife. Some people don't like the angle, but I do like the angle, that multi-angled blade there. So I always think about this as a very small utilitarian knife. And let me show you real quick with the field strip technology, if you've never seen this before. So you roll this roller on the end until it pops. There's the click, flick this, and now the whole thing is going to come apart. So now you can clean it out in the field. So that's cool. And then when you want to reassemble it, you basically reverse the process. Be careful not to cut yourself. So you want to squeeze this really tight, and then squeeze the back section, and then roll it like this. And then when it's all done, you want to flip this down, and now you're ready to go again here. So both these knives, really compact, kind of slick EDC. Yeah, they're easy to carry, easy to use. Yeah, and a big thing for me is that when I want a smaller everyday carry knife, these are the two blades I often go to. So now with these two as knives that I like for, you know, smaller everyday carry, every once in a while I do want to carry an auto. So I bring in this guy. So what we're looking at here is the Kershaw Launch 4, and if you take a look at the blade, you can see it's got Damascus steel. So I do need to clean the edge up a little bit there, but anyhow, it's just a very compact knife. Again, this is one of those smaller knives that I like to EDC, and it is an auto, obviously. So this is California legal, which is cool. And I actually got this one with the blaze orange handle as well, but I just continually go back to the Damascus steel. I just think it looks really cool. Let me get a close-up of that for you. So there's a look at the steel. You can see I got to clean up the edge a little bit, but yeah, just classy, really classy looking. Now there are a bunch of different Launch 4 options out there. This one is actually out of stock at Blade HQ, but they've got a really cool one now that's got kind of like a desert tan blade and like an OD handle. So if you like this style of knife, then those may be some you want to check out. And again, links to all these knives are in the description section down below. So check it out. Yeah, head over to Blade HQ, give them some love, and purchase your knives over there. Here's a quick look at the deployment on the Launch. Let's do it one more time here. Here we go. All right, so there you have 3 compact everyday carry knives that I often use, especially when I have to dress up a little bit. Here's a relatively compact one that I use really for utilitarian purposes, and it's the Cold Steel Tough Light. It's got the triad lock on the back. This is one of my first EDC knives that I ever got. There is also a smaller version of this. This one's going to run you around 30 bucks. They've got different color handles, including red and blue. I think there's green as well. AUS 8 is your steel, super utilitarian. I call this my tactical razor blade. I mean, you can see that edge, and then that tip there obviously is going to do some serious piercing, but super ergonomic in the hand. Big lanyard slot there in the back. So I don't often carry this one as far as like to work or if I have to dress up, but as far as like I'm going out in the yard to do some work, or I'm going out, you know, to anywhere where I'm going to be needing a good solid blade that I don't mind beating up and using pretty aggressively, then this is one that I often go to. All right, so let's step it up a little bit as far as in my mind when I think of a classier everyday carry knife. This is one of the top on my list. This is the 0460 from Zero Tolerance. Carbon fiber with that black and that brown together, kind of a Persian style. S35VN for the steel. This is going to run you around 189, give or take, depending on the, there's a couple different styles of this. This is the same 0460, but this thing it's really slick, really cool EDC knife. Nice action, really pops with the flipper there. Kind of blind you there with the light. Frame lock, as you can see. Nice deep pocket clip. Let me show you that real quick. And obviously, because it's going to be carbon fiber, it's going to be nice and lightweight. So that's a great little classy EDC knife for you know, just for when you want to dress up a little bit and you don't want to use one of the other ones. That's one I really like using a lot. Another one that's much more budget friendly is this guy right here, and that is the Rat 2 from Ontario Knife Company. This is also, I would use this as like a utilitarian knife, but I tend to use the Rat 1 as that. But this is also AUS 8, compact little knife. You can see size-wise, it's almost the exact same size as the 0460. So once again, this is the AUS 8. It's also available in D2. This is with the black handle and the satin finish. You can get a black blade. Let's see, you can get green handles. There's like pink handles, tan handles. I mean, there's just a ton of different options out there. Going to run you around 40 bucks, give or take, depending on where, on which model you get. But yeah, that's a great little EDC compact knife, a little bit bigger. But I also think, you know, for that knife, if you want a utilitarian blade, but you don't want the Rat 1 because it's too big, I think that's a cool knife. I wouldn't use the 0460 as like a utilitarian blade. Now let me show you one other one that I like. This is from Steel Will. This is the Intrigue. See if I can get you the name there on the, you can see it on the blade. So it's a cool, kind of reminds me of the Kershaw Leak a bit. D2 for your steel. So these are 3 blades as far as kind of like classier EDC. As far as for me, that's how I think about these. The Intrigue is definitely a newer one for me. Both these guys I've had a little bit longer. Steel Will came out with a bunch of knives, not this past year, but I think the year before at SHOT Show that I was really intrigued by, and the Intrigue was definitely one of them. So similar to the Rat 2, this is going to run you around 40 bucks. D2 FRN handle, you can get it with a gray handle and a black blade. A couple different options from Steel Will there. And then let me show you the last one as far as like slick, kind of classier everyday carry. This is the Bokor Urban Trapper. Bokor Urban Trapper. I don't think I said that clearly. So VG10 is your steel. Just a cool design. I mean, very kind of minimalistic. I mean, I made a video a while ago. I think I was talking about the CRKT Crossbones as kind of the foundation, but I included this one in and said this to me is like a gentleman's folder. This is a classy knife. VG10 for the steel. So a little correction there. This is the Bokor Plus, not the Bokor. and it's going to run you around 90 bucks. You can get up over 100 bucks. They've got some Tonto versions, Damascus steel. They've got a couple different options out there. So these are all kind of my my classier everyday carry knives. I want to share with you a couple of the knives I often carry that have got kind of an organic look or organic feel. Here's the first one. This is the Crkt Fossil. This is the small version. So the official number on this one is the 5460. There's also a larger version. You can get this with a black blade as well. You can also get it with VEF serrations. Again, like I said, it's organic. It's very earthy. Just the overall build of it. A lot of Flavio Coma's designs are. The Carnifex is similar as far as, you know, the kind of earthy feel to it. So I've liked this knife for a long time. I think this is like 8CR, so it's nothing fancy as far as the steel. But for an everyday carry knife, using it to cut boxes and some cordage here and there, that's definitely it. This is a knife I like. I just like the look of it. And I think if we're honest, there's a lot of knives we like just because of the look. So for me, because it looks cool and it does the job, I've carried this quite a bit. Next up is this one. This is the Steel Wheel Gecko 1550. The steel in this one, let me just give you the numbers correctly. This is the N690. And this one is got that back lock. So definitely very secure when it's locked up. And a utilitarian, got that micarta handle. So just very functional. If I had to use one like more aggressively, I would definitely go with the Gecko over the Fossil. But I think you can see they both have kind of an earthy tone to them. This one's got a little bit more of an aggressive pommel. You've got the spot to put a lanyard. You can see your pocket clip runs nice and deep. You can reverse the pocket clip as well. And this steel is definitely very corrosion resistant. So that's definitely a win if you're using it outside quite a bit. So as far as these knives, you're looking probably over 200 bucks for this and probably around close to 50 or 60 bucks for the Fossil. Another very kind of earthy one is this. This is the MSF. It's the Mini Scandi Folder 4.0 from Tops. Comes with a Scandi grind. N690 is the steel as well. Scandi grind on a folder is a little bit more rare, but cool knife. Tops has this made overseas in Italy, if I remember correctly. I beat up the Scandi grind a little bit while sharpening it, but still a great knife. Actually, I don't know if you can see it anymore. No, I think I got it out, but I had a pretty big ding in this thing. I don't know what I was cutting one time, but I had to really work the blade to get it smoothed out again. But this one's going to run you around 100 bucks. I mean, Tops makes good gear. They stand by their gear. So 3 very kind of earthy ones. And then the last one, which is definitely overbuilt or oversized for most people for everyday carry, is this guy right here. I got to even back the camera up probably a little bit. So this is the original Crkt River. There's a mini Crkt River as well. This one does have the wood handles. It's a special type of how they basically make the wood such that it's going to be water resistant. There is also ones with gray handles that's out of some kind of high density plastic or polymer. That orange spacer, just a very classic. Look at that blade. Kind of a classic looking hunting knife. Obviously your lockup system, the axis lock from Benchmade is super solid. This is S30V for your steel. And again, I think for a lot of people, I mean, I could barely get this in the frame here. For a lot of people, this is just too big. I don't want to say it's overbuilt, but it's too big for everyday carry. But if you watch my channel, you know I don't mind a large everyday carry knife. I have seen some really sweet customized ones with like a black blade, some red here, black handle, I think a red spacer in the back in the mini version. So I may splurge one day and get one of those and sell a bunch of these other ones. But the Crkt River, as soon as I got it, I was like, yeah, this is a great knife. And I take care of my knives. I try to really clean them after I use them out in the field, or in particular for everyday carry. Most everyday carry knives for me, I don't beat up a ton. If I want to use a utilitarian knife, I'll use something else that I can kind of beat on more aggressively. So I tend to keep them pretty clean. I can tell you this one though, when you take it out to like slice up in a box, people are like, oh, that's a big looking knife. What are you doing with that thing? So just a heads up on the Crkt River there. This one's going to run you about 200 bucks, a little bit more, 208 I think it is over at Blade HQ. And then the mini version is going to run you about 191. So if you like this, but you want something smaller and want to save a little bit of money, then I would go with that. Let me show you one last one that's got a little bit of an organic feel. This one I can't find anymore, but this is the No Time Off Flavio Coma design from Crkt. This is a great, when I met him at SHOT Show, he was like, this is like a shop knife. So the way it's built is just chunky. You got the little bit of jimping up there, so you can choke way up. You can hold it like this. You can hold it like this. I mean, he did some very fine cuts with it. I think in my video that I have from him from SHOT Show, I don't know, it's probably like 2017. It's got the extra little locking mechanism here. So you got to kind of push this to the side and then bring your lock over. Nice deep. This is going to be tipped down, but nice deep pocket clip, as you can see right there. This is a cool knife. I've always liked this one. I wanted to get the one with the VEF serrations, but I just never got around to it. So a little bit harder to find right now. Your steel for this is a Cts Bd1, which I'm about to show you another knife that has that same steel. It's out of stock at Blade HQ, but if you dig around, you can probably find it somewhere. Runs around 75 bucks if it is in stock at Blade HQ. I'm pretty sure this one's been discontinued, but I still like this one a lot. Let me show you another one that's Cts Bd1. So speaking of Cts Bd1, this is the Manics 2 from Spyderco. This one has, I think, what they call the FRCP handle, so it's a very lightweight plastic. Again, Cts Bd1 is your steel. I don't own a ton of Spydercos, honestly. A lot of other people carry way more Spydercos or use Spydercos more often. I'm very selective with my Spydercos, but the ones I have, I really like, and this is one of those. Here's your deployment real quick. So very cool knife. Nice style blade, nice overall look. And I do like that pocket clip, that wire pocket clip. Pretty slick there. And as you can see, I mean, that thing rides deep. Okay, this one is a limited edition release. This was in conjunction with Benchmade and Cabela's. It's the Mini Barrage with the blaze orange handle and the black D2 steel blade. So this is an assisted, does have the locking mechanism, so push that down. That's what it looks like. Very cool little knife. I mean, a lot of people would use this for camping and hunting, which I think is great. But this is an EDC knife for me. An assisted opener definitely catches some eyes because it's got that bright orange handle, but very slick, very slick knife. I've liked this one for years. I get a lot of knives for review, but I request ones I think I might be interested in. This is one I went and actually purchased because I was so intrigued by it. And I like those limited edition releases. It's a very cool Benchmade Adamas that's in conjunction with Bass Pro Shops. So that Adamas has like a black blade and then like a green Cryptek, I think, handle. Really cool. So similarly, this one was a limited edition release with Cabela's, and handle's a little bit dirty there, you can probably see, but it's been a great knife to EDC. So there's the full-size Barrage. This is the Mini Barrage. Also, there are aftermarket handles you can replace. Going to run you probably $120, give or take. This one is newer to me. This is the Blade Runners Systems Apache. This is from their Evolve line. S35VN steel, and just kind of a big leaf-shaped blade. I love that red there. That's a nice pop. Nice little addition to the knife. Gives a little something extra. Full flat grind, stonewash finish. Let me flip it over and just show you the other side here. So it's a handsome blade. And then we've got the frame lock there. So cool knife, Blade Runners Systems. This is the Evolve line, and it's the Apache. This guy's going to run you about $180 over at Blade HQ. So I don't have a ton of autos that I carry for everyday carry knives, but I do like this one. This is the Gerber Propel Downrange. Lots of different options. This one's got the tan handle. You can get it with the green handle, serrated, not serrated, satin finish. I got mine with serrated. In my review of this knife from probably 5 years ago, I was like using the serrations kind of half-heartedly, and then I was like, wow, these things actually work pretty well. So I was definitely hacking through some cardboard boxes nicely. Pretty aggressive G10. So if you got a pair of pants you don't want to get beat up, this might not be the knife for you. But this has been definitely an auto that I like. And, some people are just not into autos. Some people don't like that Tonto style. I think they call it a modified Tonto. But I have liked this knife, Gerber Propel Downrange. Depending on what version you get, it's probably going to run you like 125 up to 160. S30V for the steel. Yeah, S30V for the steel. And they've got a couple other kind of offshoots from this original style, more modern or more updated versions. This one's probably 5 years old, but as you can see, this thing definitely still snaps. I've got one of their Gerber 06 autos, and I would definitely call the deployment on that one goopy. Just doesn't fling open. This one, I mean, this thing really pops open nicely when you deploy it. All right, final two knives here. This is the Benchmade Triage. There is this version. There's one with a satin blade. They also have the auto version. They've got kind of like a blunt tip, so it's a little bit more for prying. The access lock, super strong lockup system. It does have a glass breaker at the far end. Nicely textured G10. It also has the rescue hook. Let me show you that. So you got this little thumb stud here, basically. Swing that out. There's your rescue hook. So this version is definitely the older one. The new one's going to run you probably around 250. This one probably would have run you around maybe 180 or so if you can find it. But this has been probably one of my top 5 EDC knives that I've used over all the years. I just like it. And I like the fact that I got the rescue hook. I like that it's got that that blade that allows me to do some slicing and cutting, but doesn't have a super like pointy tip. The rescue hook, the glass breaker. Yeah, just a cool knife. Definitely a cool knife. Last but not least, the Benchmade grip Tilian. There are lots of different versions from $90 and up. There's lots of different handle styles, steels. You can get them customized over at the Benchmade store. This was the first knife that I really invested money in. I had a couple lower end knives, but I saved up my money and bought this one. I love it. This is 154 cm. Some people don't like the handle because it's too plasticky, but I've used this as an everyday carry knife. I've used this in the woods. I've used this as a utility knife, and it just takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Really easy to sharpen that blade. When I was not comfortable sharpening knives, I had a buddy doing it, and he was like, man, this thing is just really simple. There's not just a ton of crazy angles. I think they're calling this the modified sheep's foot, if I remember. Obviously, the lockup system for Benchmade is well known, so this guy's kind of a classic. Yeah, and I got a soft spot in my heart for it because I bought it. It was one of my first knives, but it has been an awesome knife. And I would say out of all the knives that I use, this is probably my favorite just because of that kind of sentimental side. So I'd love to hear from you guys too. If you got a knife that's like, you've got nicer ones maybe or newer ones, but you keep going back to it because of those sentimental reasons, let us know. Offer your thoughts in the comment section. Tell us about those knives. All right, guys, there you have it. My favorite everyday carry knives. Big shout out to Blade HQ. Thanks for sponsoring this video. There's links down below to all these knives that I've spoken about. And yeah, I'd like to hear from you guys. What's your favorite everyday carry knife? What are you guys carrying on a regular basis? Tell me why. Leave a comment down below in the comment section. We can get that conversation started. Thanks as always for checking out the videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.